Being 7:02, I'll bring the Dunbarton, select board meeting to order. I know it said zoning. Thursday, September 16th, 2021, 7 p.m. All three selectmen are present, town administrator is present, and Fred Mullins present to videotape for the public, and Linda Nickerson will upload those to our town website and to YouTube. Okay, I have some old business with the regular meeting minutes from September 2nd.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular minutes of September 2nd, 2021 as amended.
Second.
Motion been made, second, any discussion?
Well done as always.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And I'll make a motion to approve the 8:31 PM non-public minutes of September 2nd, 2021.
I second.
motion been made, second, any discussion?
They're not sealed.
No, and I didn't think anything in there needed to be sealed.
No, it doesn't mention it either.
Okay. Motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion to approve the 8:55 PM non-public minutes of September 2nd, 2021.
Okay, motion been made, do I have a second?
I second it.
Mike seconds it, any discussion on that one?
No.
Okay, motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye. Oh, there's a crowd here, huh?
Every time we have those public meetings, it's like that. Okay. I'm gonna go to public comment quickly here after these meeting minutes. Anybody got anything, Fred?
No.
Linda?
Oh,
Okay. Alright, we'll go back into town business here. I'll make a motion per RSA 31:95-B, Roman numeral 3, paragraph A, to accept a grant from the state of New Hampshire Municipal Aid, ARPA, in the total amount of $301,401, payable in 2 installments. And we have the first half of that check, which is $150,700.74. That's correct, right, Lean? Alright. Motion's been made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
No, I see the criteria.
Yeah, Lean has given us a breakdown of the criteria on being able to spend that money, and we'll have some discussions on that later on, I would imagine.
well, this is the public hearing that you're talking about,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
scheduled for first on the agenda.
Yeah.
So, you wanna open the publib hearing, ask for any
Yeah, we can
input?
open the public hearing and see if there's any comment in reference to this money.
I was just curious what the criteria was for what we can spend it on.
It's quite a long, criteria, but they're, mostly COVID-related, emergency type uses. But some can be used for infrastructure, including public water, sewer and broadband.
It cannot be used to decrease taxes though, or general taxes, which that's the biggest thing I heard. So it's gotta be used to offset some of those other things you just mentioned.
So we
Right.
could use it for a generator for the town office building?
You
Would
could
that-
use it for anything that would help in reference to, for COVID meetings. So. There's also, services and programs and labeled down here. I noticed there's capital investments in public facilities to meet pandemic operational needs. Ventilation improvements in key settings in healthcare facilities, like healthcare facilities. So there's many uses, and I think that we're gonna have to go through and do some discussion on where we wanna actually allocate the money as it comes in. There's also a formula that Lean has used that you could take your current budget and what is it, 4.1%, and you can do a calculated of what the proposed lost revenues would be to the town. And you do that per year, and just using that calculation, we're able to take care of most of these funds that are on here.
It can be, for example, we lost revenue at the transfer station.
So, I think this will be an ongoing discussion, and we'll have it as a public meeting as we decide how to use this money, is what my thoughts
I
are.
think in answer to your
think so,
question,
too.
in answer to your question though, you can ask, Lean could probably email you the fact sheet on it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and this fact sheet, I'm sure will be available to anybody in the public that wants to read through it. Lean will have a copy up at the town, and,
But it's kind of specific though, it's kind of narrow in scope, it's gotta be, as Dave said, I wanna reiterate, COVID-19 related.
so we'll go through, and there's also some information in here about compensation. We've read through, and we've already done some of that with some of the other COVID money, but, you know, we'll be looking at a lot of different aspects, I'm sure, on this money, and we'll have public meetings as it becomes fit to try and use some of it. Okay. Going on to the next item.
Close the public hearing.
Oh, yeah, let's close that public hearing, unless, Lean, did you have anything you wanted to say about?
No, I thought it was important that you take a look at the
Yeah.
criteria, that we don't act on it
Yeah,
right off. We have the $150,000, I did have the auditor in the office today, he recommended that I create a separate fund. So the fund, this money will be put into that special fund, and anytime you guys authorize any type of
we'll have
expense,
a public,
it's gonna go through that particular fund and not be commingled with the general fund.
okay,
I don't
great.
think public hearings need on every expense.
Well, no, just our public hearing like this at the selectmen's, selectmen's meeting, we can determine it,
Discuss it,
Yeah.
make a motion on it.
Agreed.
But the money has been accepted after this, so.
When's the second payment due?
Next year this time, and this will cover the, second payment as well.
Okay, so next fiscal year, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Awesome. So, close that public hearing there, and, we'll move on to the next one. Mike, do you wanna make a
Yes,
motion for that one?
per RSA 31:95-B, subparagraph Roman numeral 3B, to accept dollars for Reeds Cross Dunbarton from sponsors in the amount of $450. And we have that amount, Lean?
We do,
Okay, I need a second on that.
I'll second that, and I'll also wanna state that, I think I heard this week that Bob has talked with them, and they're gonna open up a 501c.
You're gonna have discussion on this, right?
Yeah, go ahead, let's do the discussion right now, the motion's been made and seconded, so.
Okay.
now
I
we'll do
can't
discussion.
see why we're accepting it when it's not town funds for any town use
Yeah.
whatsoever, but a private contribution to someone that has us using an account that's actually a custodial account for
Mhm.
that type of money. And I have talked to the individual, and yes, he's found probably a better place for it to be done with. And so he's gonna be bringing it up with the garden club. He's just gonna use a 501c3, which probably is a better use, because it gives him and the club, cause they can make that decision really quick and access the money
Yeah.
without utilizing the town. It takes the onus off the town, takes any kind of maintenance of time, you know, to put together what resources he has available to himself.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and again, I know we're supposed to accept monies that are coming into the town, I don't think that meets that purview, and you know, so, that's my point of contention.
Yeah, we've had a couple of discussions with it, at our last meeting, we had the auditors in here from our prior year. And he said, although it's nothing that we're doing wrong, it's up to the selectmen whether we accept them or don't accept them. I thought this donation, it was okay to accept, because they're still setting up their 501c, and,
Thing is, could we establish a deadline tonight as a correlated? I don't mind accepting the money until, and with a set deadline from the either.
And you know, my point isn't whether we accept it or not, cause he has that ability to put it in his funds. They open that door when they decided to run a custodial account for him,
right.
so, but, whether we
So you
accept it
don't
or
mind
not.
accepting these monies
So
tonight?
you guys can accept the monies, I'm gonna abstain, cause
Yeah.
you know, I just think it's commingling of funds and, you know, even though the, auditor said that some towns do it, he didn't say whether it was right or wrong, he just said some towns do it, and they usually do it with the old home day funds. So, you know,
Yeah,
I had the discussion with the person, I know he's gonna make I think, the more prudent and more correct thing with it. And I have nothing against what the funds are being used for, I
yeah.
just don't think that we should be the repository for those funds.
I don't wanna put a deadline only cause I don't know how long it's gonna take them to set up the 501c, cause I'm not aware of that,
Can I
so.
bring you up to speed with what
Yeah.
Don has told me? So, two things, I talked to my auditor, the new auditor today, he said that it's absolutely fine for the town to hold these funds, but the board has the ultimate decision to do it or not. That being said, these funds have been received and are in the hands of our treasurer.
Yeah,
So in order to keep all the money together, so we can release it as a whole and close it out, that's the reason why I put it on the agenda. It was made out to town of Dunbarton, Reeds Across Dunbarton, which allows the treasurer to deposit into that fund, but once he came in today and he said he's actually applying through the veterans. They have a
We had that
501c.
discussion
And
Friday, and
he
he
said that they
said,
were very receptive to that, and they will
Okay.
help them. So that is gonna move forward very quickly. I don't have a date, but he said it's work in progress, and that's the only reason why the money is
Yeah.
here.
Okay with just accepting the funds and
Yeah.
let them work it out.
yeah, and actually, we
Sounds
talked
like
about
it's in
that on
progress.
Friday, but he mentioned that at first they didn't wanna do it. That's why he didn't go that route, and he
Okay,
was gonna go with the garden club.
oh, well, no,
So
you got
since
more
then,
information, yeah.
Since then, he's probably talked to him again, which either one would be ideal
Yeah,
for him,
yeah.
because it's less of a conflict for him as far as getting money back and forth,
Mhm.
cause he has to get his receipts together, come over and ask for a check
Yeah.
to get reimbursed.
Yeah.
This way, they can write their own checks.
Yeah, I think was very receptive to your recommendation, Bob.
I concur with what Bob's intent, however, until I think we can continue to accept the funds until we terminate the fund.
Yeah, especially both of our auditors said we weren't doing anything wrong, so. The motion's been made and the motion's been seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And abstaining.
Okay, make that note for the record.
Yeah.
Alright. I guess we're gonna skip over Nora for right now, although if you want, we can speak to it. Was she coming in?
She was, but I think she was gonna be here a little closer to 7:30, so.
Alright, well, we'll go on to some other items in the mailbox then, I think. See, we got that check. I see something for the mailbox from here, John Wiggins, so I'll put that with the mailbox items. So we're gonna start going through mailbox items here to start out.
Okay.
We have an email here in reference to the Schoolhouse Cafe. And, we have a department response. The Schoolhouse Cafe was asking us for our input as selectmen to help them with a situation they have with a new stove they installed. That was a gas range stove. I had read some of these previous, requirements for pulling this electrical permit and what is required for a hood above it. There is some exemptions for what they can cook and what they can't cook on it, to do with or without a hood. And that's something our, building department is working on. What's the board's flavor? Have you guys all had a chance to read this?
Yes, I did, I thought, I stand behind the building department right now, and the building inspector, I thought he's done an admirable job based upon the summary I received. I think, for us to pull the rug underneath the building department, the building inspector is not appropriate at this time. I'd like to return a letter, a response back to the citizens and saying, I wanna reiterate, what the building inspector has said. The stove is not to be used until exhaust fan has been installed, and continue to work, and ask them to please continue to work with the building inspector.
I haven't finished reading enough through it to make a letter out at this time. I'd like to finish it off, there was an exemption in there, and I read through the exemption. It looked like they might fit the exemption, but you guys actually don't have a copy of it.
Yeah, they do,
Yes, we
every one of them got, that's why you have
This one page,
they have a copy. It was from the building permit, you have your names on it.
yeah, I have it too.
Yep. We all have a copy.
That's not the whole thing, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, well, this is what they gave us to
Yeah,
hand
he
out.
sent me an email earlier. Of the entire section, and the section shows an exemption in there, I don't see it. So I'd like to get you guys the rest of the information so that we can read it.
Are we trying to subvert the building inspector?
No, I just wanna read through it before we
Okay.
send a letter out to the applicant.
Okay. If you look on July 17th, where they listed their exceptions, and the thing is, their exceptions were, or shall I say, listed uses, were reviewed by the building department.
The July 27th you're referring to?
Yes, I am. And the thing is, the biggest problem I have, Dave, is two things. It's not only if it was a restaurant, and let's say they wanted to be on there, cut some corners and they didn't install it, for God's sake, there are people living in that building. And I think if we don't go by code to the strictest level, their lives are in danger. And that's the way I feel. I think since it's a multi-use building, we have to take the high road here. And I think Mike's doing an admirable job, our building inspector, in going through the research. And so I wanna continue to support the building inspector because I think he's looking out for the best interest of all citizens. What I would be vigilant for, and I'd be a little bit upset, and I'd like to make sure that, I'd like to be reassured that they have not disregarded the building inspector and started to use that stove.
Doesn't sound like it from my
Well,
comments.
that was September 2nd was his last contact, it's been half a month since it's been passed, it's close to half a month, so I'm concerned that the thing is they just blow the person off, and I don't want that to happen, because I think it's a safety issue.
Yeah, the balance of the exception isn't in here. So, I'd just like to make sure that we, read through it properly before we give a letter back to the homeowners.
Okay.
So, if it takes a couple more weeks to do that, then that's what it'll be.
But I like to,
Because the fire marshal didn't refer to any special exemption there.
Right.
If you can include us in getting a copy,
Yep.
so we can look at it, we can maybe decide the next meeting.
Yeah, I'll try and have it highlighted, and then we'll email it to you,
But from what I'm looking at here,
right?
I think that Mike was prudent with what he did, because he's following the steps that he took
Yep.
to assure that he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure we do all the right research before we go ahead and send something back to them.
but it'd be eliciting more information from the building inspector than what you're asking for.
Yeah.
Okay,
So can I just send a general statement to them that you're,
it's under review.
under review and that we'll have a response to them within 2 weeks? So
Yep.
that they know that you're responding and,
Absolutely, I would recommend that.
Yep, that'd be perfect. Just so they know we're not forgetting about them. Okay, that does that item.
Just to let let you know, we have the, garden club just arrived, so.
Yeah, so I think we'll hop from our mailbox back to that order because, the mailbox is pretty lengthy tonight, it might take a while to get through. Alright, going back to our regular agenda here. We're looking for Nora Lamar,
That's me.
President of the Garden Club.
That's me.
We had a request from you to decorate for Halloween, and I got a call last weekend, and I did call back and say that I had no issue with bringing the stuff over from your garden sale over there, the mums and corn stalks and pumpkins, but I did say I wanted to check with my fellow selectmen on it, so come right up and bring it up to us.
You want me to move up?
Either that or you can talk right from there,
Oh,
Norm.
I have a good loud voice.
Okay,
That works.
So in years past, we have decorated for Halloween, which is on a Sunday, the 31st of October.
Yep.
And we'd like to continue on that tradition. We usually, pitch a tent, where, and it's a big tent, I think it's 30 by 60 maybe?
This one is, I think, 20 by 40.
20 by 40, okay, that's the other one we had at, Pages. And, so we'll have candy, little bags of candy, 300 bags, that's very important for you all to know. And we'll be handing those out on the bandstand, and also there will be candy in the tent. Usually we have projections on the north side of the library of, ghoulish, things, and we'll have some music. 2 years ago, we offered hot dogs free, and that depends on COVID this year, whether we want to do that or not, we're unsure.
yeah, the, COVID is rising, it seems to be in town
Yes.
too.
Yeah,
I have no problem with it, in concept as it is now, but that's 45 days out almost.
that's right,
And, the COVID has been rising, and I think we have to be flexible enough, so in the event it doesn't, we have a massive outbreak in our school, we may have to, be just in calling it off. I'd be prepared to do it if we had to. I'd like to see it go forward though. But I think we have to have enough flexibility to say, let's say you can't give it out, maybe you can distribute it at the school, the candy bags, so they don't go to waste to the children.
and we had that in mind, we
Okay.
know that's going to happen, you know.
So
Yeah.
I would support your concept 100%, but please, I would ask for flexibility, so if you have to cancel it the last week, because
Yeah.
say we get 100 cases or 50 cases in Dunbarton, we have to be vigilant for that.
And the reason we're here 45 days ahead of time is because we need to plan.
Exactly.
But we do know in the back of our minds that COVID could hit, and if the selectmen, cancel it for good reasons, health reasons, we totally understand that.
I think I'm in full support of you then.
But
I
the
have no
decoration,
problem.
Huh?
I'll let Bob go first, the decoration portion is still gonna go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna, do you want me to talk that before Bob,
Oh,
did
no,
you have
let
something
Bob
to say?
talk first.
No, I have no problem either, you know, why we review it before it happens is, we don't know who's gonna come before us,
Yeah,
and, you know, it's actually first come, first served, so it's a good thing you're coming early.
well, that's a good thing too, Bob, because any organization in town are welcome to join us. So it's not just exclusive to us.
Yep.
So if there's, I mean, I had someone call me, or actually text me and said she's not a member of the the garden club, could she help out in any way? And I wrote back and said, from now till December, we have a lot of things going on in the common, and I will let her know, and we will welcome her. If there's some PTO members, if the PTO doesn't want to help, there are some members that are willing to come and help us.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah, we
anyone
always
else.
say you're a volunteer now.
Yeah. And the decorations, what we would do, on the bandstand, like we have done before, is around the perimeter of the railing, we will probably put some Halloween decorations on it. I don't know, did we have lights in the past, Enid? We might have small little twinkle
Yeah,
lights.
they're just like the orange ones.
And we
that
have
are around
ghoul-
the railing.
Yeah, ghoulish figures, but all of those in the past have been taken down that night. If we're not white, we'll probably take the tent down the next morning. which we have done in the past,
Sounds like a great plan.
yeah.
I have no problem letting that tent dry out to midday either, so, you know,
Yeah,
putting a wet tent away makes no sense.
Absolutely.
well, you can't really take it on if it's wet,
Right.
yeah.
Or you're exhausted in the middle of the night.
Well, yes, yes. So
Kids will do that to you.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything else to cover.
I
think we
do
have
have
consensus.
one.
Yeah, this is Enid, you all know Enid.
Yeah, I do have one question. Will you want us to require masks? We will be outside in the fresh air, and people will be, I mean, we're not gonna be able to measure 6 feet and everything, but we
I-
will be outdoors and people are moving.
I think we'll visit that probably a little bit closer to it, because
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
as, if it was tomorrow, I would say no, but, you know, a month from now,
Yeah.
we might all be wearing masks even at this meeting. I hope not, but,
I hope not either.
you know, if we head back that direction, I think that, you know,
We have to
We'll
be
reach
flexible
out.
enough to
yeah.
implement
And
if we
being
have to.
Halloween, they might be wearing masks anyway,
right.
so,
Yeah.
If you recall last year, I think we pushed Halloween away.
yes.
And then in another note, Margaret Watkins and I, went to all the neighbors in the common today, barring a couple of people who are not home, but I called them later. And I did explain that we will be decorating from now till, you know, hopefully, Christmas. And we asked about the lights. I called Ann Zeller and Bill, and everyone is fine with it. And the only problem she had was 2 years ago, we had blinking blue stars to the entrance of the bandstand, and that was her only objection. Other than that, they were lovely, and no floodlights, and I said, we don't do floodlights. And I don't remember the blinking blue stars, I don't think I was
I
here.
do.
I think I was
remember.
in the Panama Canal that time, so there was blinking blue,
Mhm.
so we will
They
be,
look great.
we will respect, the neighbors,
Great.
in the community here,
Well,
because
that
that's
helps
what it's
us
all
out too,
about.
cause we get the feedback if you don't, so that works out well for
Well, that's
me.
good too, it's good to know,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Alright, great.
I would just recommend that they check with us maybe, as time progresses, and the thing is, we'll give, if there's an issue that comes up, we can always have the town manager send you an email if there's a
Yeah.
concern.
And also, you know, I have grandchildren in the schools, if they go remote, I'll know, you know,
Yeah.
there would be a reason there.
We have to see which way the wind is blowing.
Absolutely, I hope it's good.
Okay, great, while we're talking about the town common, on another note, Margaret, has reached out by email, I think she might have sent something to Lean, did she send it to you? We're gonna have another one of those concerts on the common to benefit the, town hall, restoration committee. And they asked if they could do it, and they gave 2 proposed dates, they're gonna get back to us when they finalize a date. I told them I didn't have an issue with it,
So it's not Halloween.
yeah,
No,
it's not Halloween, so,
yeah. September 25th or October 3rd,
okay.
depending on the talent. when they're
Yeah,
available.
so they were looking to do that, and they asked if they could give, small select tours like they did earlier. And I told them I didn't have any issue with it, but I wanted to bring it up to the board of the second floor.
Not with small tours,
Nope.
because I don't have a problem.
And I know they've talked to John Wigan before about keeping them small
Yeah.
too, so, I didn't have any issue with it, so I'd like to reach out and we can send Margaret an email.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
You're involved with that, right?
Yes.
We both
Is
are,
it,
yeah.
is it at night or during the day?
No, the concert will be in the afternoon.
Oh,
probably
that's good,
from
I'm just
2
concerned
to
about
4.
lighting.
2 to
upstairs.
3 hour concert.
During the day,
About 2
which
hour
would be fine.
concert, yeah, probably 2 to 4.
Oh,
And
that'd
so,
be
yeah, it'd
nice.
still be daylight,
Okay,
yeah, because
good.
we don't wanna be feeling our way around, say, I could envision that.
Good, good to
They
know.
seem to be getting a lot of, feedback on it, so
Could
we
be a
wanna try
win.
and pick up that concert series maybe again.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll reach out and let Margaret know that that's all said as well. Thank you for coming in, ladies.
You're very
Thank you
welcome,
very
is the
much.
public comment coming up soon?
We can go to it right now, cause you're the last one on the regular agenda, and then we're gonna go to mailbox, so. Instead of letting you wait till mailbox, go ahead through any public comment.
No, Barnet Hill Road, I
Yeah.
travel it daily, and sometimes it's like going on a roller coaster. is there any plans, I know there was plans a couple of years ago to do something to it. And I know that a lot of the rain we got, has made a lot of ruts and ripples. Is there any plan to throw any asphalt on it?
Not that I've heard of as of yet. We actually, they repaved all of the roads down at Gorham Pond, this summer. They're in that progress right now. And I know from there, next year, I think they're hopping over to Montalona/Morse. That got pushed off for a year or two.
Yeah, I think they're going to Ray Road this year.
And
Yeah, Ray Road, finishing Ray Road this year.
to give a picture, probably not in the immediate future, however, what's in the drawing board right now is that we're falling behind in road repairs across the town.
Okay,
Thing is, what's being proposed for probably next town meeting is a bond, so we can do a massive amount of road improvements at one time.
okay,
So that's to be determined, because it's gotta be voted upon the voters. Because right now, as I said, we have fallen behind, as the road agent has alerted us. And he's pushing, and we'll be developing a bond proposal, which we will be entertaining this coming spring. That will hopefully will take care of that specific road. We don't have any knowledge of it.
so it's not on the list?
Correct. Not on the immediate list.
Okay, and, has anyone traveled it? I mean,
I do.
yeah,
I don't travel it a lot, but I do travel it sometime. I haven't traveled it since the recent rains.
yeah,
But one other thing we do have, and I'll let you know in advance, is, we have a meeting, where the, road agent comes in and he talks about the roads he's gonna work on in the following year.
It's a public
Yeah.
hearing.
It's a public hearing for
Okay.
the roads.
It's usually in May.
In
And
May
and
time.
during that meeting is a great time to come in and speak your interest about that road, because, you know, sometimes the
squeaky
squeaky
wheel
wheel gets in.
I can't be that.
The thing is, we have a set amount every year towards road maintenance.
Yeah,
And as Dave said, that's the priority, that's where we prioritize it as a town.
yeah,
And sometimes we get nobody show up, sometimes we get one or two. But
okay,
in May, when it's announced, in the springtime, late spring, you gotta be there to be the squeaky wheel.
And during our budget, we also generally put $100,000 for additional paving into that.
okay,
At town meeting, it's voted on as a warrant article, and we've kept it that way, instead of increasing his budget regularly. That way the people know what roads are being worked on and what paving's getting done, and it keeps it kind of in the public eye.
yeah. And,
But the problem is, it's not enough for Dunbarton. We're gonna need more.
yeah, and then you did bring up Ray Road. Is the paving finished down there? Because there's still some dirt road between the bridge and that, I forget the other development, or is that
They
gonna
have
be
to do that.
paved?
Yes, the dirt, I think the dirt road's gonna stay, but when you get on to where it's paved
Yeah,
and going towards, 77,
yeah,
there's some very rough spots that have been like that. And those people have been complaining for a while. That's why they came up this spring, that's why he came up with what roads he was gonna do around Gorham Pond and Ray Road, and those are already selected,
okay,
you know, so again, next year he'll be doing the same thing.
okay,
And whoever's here to voice concern, you know, that's the person that bends his ear
okay,
a little more.
alright. Well, thank you very much.
Can I speak on that railroad?
Yeah.
Fred Mullen, my understanding is the dirt portion is not getting paved because that's subject to be underwater.
Right,
Almost every year could be
Right.
underwater. And, the part by the bridge was paved to protect the bridge abutments, you know, not the abutments, but the, entrance and exit of the bridge. And the part that goes up towards, on Mansion Road towards Stark Lane that's paved is because in the winter time there's a problem with trying to get the salt trucks up the road.
okay,
But the rest of the roads are gonna be paved to the 77.
okay,
That's something my understanding of it.
okay, alright,
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to finish this year.
Yeah.
Cross our
It better be,
fingers.
because it's the second year that they've been put off, you
Right.
know, of him getting it done.
Well, Montalona's on like 5 years being put off, so,
Only 5?
put off for 5, it was on the
Hey,
the agenda.
It's at least passable now.
Yeah,
alright, well, thank you all very much.
thank you.
Thank you. Good night now.
Good night.
Good evening.
Okay, anybody else from the public for this section of the meeting?
I don't know if Lee put me on the agenda,
I
we
did
had
not.
a little,
I
Why don't we
had a
take you,
miscommunication.
why don't we
so-
take you in here now then, Linda, because it'll be a good
Then you
spot.
can do your mail?
Quite a bit of mail here.
Well, I wanted to thank the board for making it possible for me to go to the annual Town Clerk Conference. It was up in North Conway. It's a 3-day conference, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday last week. It was great to be able to network with my fellow town clerks again. There was a lot of focus on election. Secretary of State was there, he's usually there every conference. Attorney General's office was there as well. One of the things that they brought up, a lot of the clerks are still getting right-to-know requests for information from the elections. I've had to pass some of the questions off to Lean to get information from her. The Attorney General's office is encouraging clerks to, before we respond, go through town council. None of the clerks really want to do that, but I'm just letting you know that those requests are still coming in, and if any of them get really sticky, I may reach out to Lean and ask if it's okay if I go to town council. So far, I've been able to handle everything, back it up with statutes, and that seems to satisfy the people that are making the requests. But just to give you a heads up that that may happen.
Okay.
Okay.
The thing is, I just, if you have a tendency to go to town council, I like to make sure the selectmen involved is, town council is an expensive bill.
That's why we don't wanna do
Okay,
it.
agreed.
Cause I called the Secretary of State's office on one of them, and they kept saying, go to town council, and I said, I am not gonna subject my town to that expense.
Then we have a
I
meeting,
was like, I want answers
we have a
from
meeting
you.
of the minds.
Yeah, I know how
Okay.
expensive it is, and the other clerks are in agreement, none of us wanna go to town council.
Have you checked with NHMA, legal, free legal, where it's under our membership, we get,
I know that, well, on this one, everything so far I've been able to handle. Once I talked to Secretary of State, I had a better idea of which way to go with it.
okay.
And so I was able to back up all of their questions with statutes, and I never heard a thing back. So I think what they're trying to do is trip up clerks. There's a lot of fishing for information. And then also, Secretary of State's office pointed out, if it's just an inquiry, you don't have to answer it. If they present it as a right to know request, obviously I have to, and I do respond. But now I've taken just those inquiries and just not even responded to them. It's safer that way. That way I don't give anything for them to run off and come try to sue us on. So, and I know we have the municipal association if we need it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Some of the networking, I just wanted to share something with you. Even though we all have a great time when we're at these things. One of the things I've noticed is that there's an inconsistency between towns on how we price vehicles. Somebody buys a new car, they come in, I put in the VIN, an MSRP pops up through the software. But if that person has their window sticker, sometimes there's a substantial difference in those prices. Well, the town fees are supposed to be based on MSRP. I am now working with the clerks in the Town Clerk Association to try to get consistency across the board and protocols set up so that we are all the same. An example that I gave, I did a spreadsheet with 6 cars. Had I gone with just the amount that popped up on the screen with the software, which is a blue book price, it's just a base price, it doesn't include options. Those 6 cars, had I gone with just that base price, would have cost the town over $900 in revenue. So Hope and I are now asking for window stickers when people come in with a new vehicle, so that we're being consistent and trying to charge for all of the options. And the clerks are gonna work with other clerks, and we're working with the DMV. It's gonna take a while, there'll probably be a committee set up for this, but just to let you know that I am gonna be involved with that.
They're going up?
No, if you buy a new car, if somebody bought a new car, they had $15,000 worth of options on that car. Had I not seen that window sticker, that $15,000 equated to several $100s in revenue for the town. So, I mean,
Is there a statute that says what you should and should not use?
it says the maker's list price. So now you have to go further. What the Blue Book program gives is the base price. They don't give the options because every package for
It's
every
different,
car
yeah.
is different.
They could never keep up with the new packages coming out either.
Right, and they can't keep up with them,
So you're gonna make a general policy to ask for the window sticker?
we are doing that very much, and we'll say, if you don't have the window sticker, bring your pricing information in, and we can kind of gauge from that what kind of packages they have.
Isn't that very personal though?
No,
I wouldn't
Well-
wanna give the town anything to do with my pricing package that I worked out with a dealer.
Well, if you.
it doesn't matter what you worked out with the dealer,
Right.
it's the maker's list price.
But
Yeah.
you don't always get list price when you're looking at a vehicle.
That's correct, and because people will say, well, that's not what I paid for it, but the statute does not allow you to base that on what you paid for it. The statute says maker's list price.
In fact, in today's market, some citizens would be happy using MSRP because they're paying more.
Yeah, they are,
Unless you're buying a leftover.
unless you're buying a
If you
leftover.
buy a brand new leftover, you end up paying quite a bit below what,
Right, if you were to buy
Right.
a 2020 vehicle in the year 2021,
yep,
your tax multiplyer's already down 3 mils because you're buying an older year model. So just to let you know, I am working with the other clerks on that. And then lastly, I did make some contacts for software and for a postage meter, and I've turned all that information over to Lean. And the best part, longevity. I have been presented with a 25-year longevity certificate. Lean, I'll give you a copy for my folder. But I was recognized for serving 25 years as town clerk. I got a clock with a plaque.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I got a 25-year pin.
Very nice.
And you got the pin to go
Thanks.
along with it,
Thank
huh?
you.
They did this all at the town clerk's meeting?
Yes, actually, there were 5 of us, I think, who were 25-year clerks.
Oh,
There was one, the clerk from Wolfboro is a 50-year clerk. She is currently the longest-serving clerk
Very
in the
nice.
state of New Hampshire.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, that was very special. And, you know, if you get the Town and City magazine, I think we're getting them digitally now. Thank you.
You'll be on the cover?
No, I won't be on the cover, but they did several articles on town clerks, and if you ever wanna breeze through it, it'll kinda give you an idea of, we all do the same stuff, but
Yeah.
this was contributions by town and city clerks, as well as people from the municipal association that put it together, so there's some really well-written articles,
Very nice.
so thank you.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
Well, thank you.
Anything else on your agenda, Linda?
I don't think so, oh, just an FYI, motor vehicle was at the conference, and there are gonna be some changes. COVID has changed the way businesses are running, and some of these changes may be permanent. Motor vehicle is now looking at going to appointments. If you go up for your driver's license or anything, registration, special plates, it'll be by appointments. You can still walk in, but preference is given to people with appointments. And they are really considering doing that, COVID.
They're doing it
COVID
now.
kinda helped them, they're doing it now,
I
and it
just
does.
got my license renewed, and the second time I went there, I didn't have an appointment,
You waited forever?
about 2 hours.
Yep. Mark had to go get his license renewed, and I said, make an appointment. He was in and out within a half hour. So, just an FYI, if you do need to go up there, you know anybody who's going up there, encourage them to make an appointment, their service will be much faster.
Are you making appointments in your office still?
We're not making appointments. We have seen a great increase in online registrations, which we were so hoping for.
What
It's
about
great.
any chance of opening them on Fridays? I know you have a 4-day work week, as far as keeping open, but any open on Fridays, because in lieu of being open in the evenings, because you you basically cut that, correct? You don't have any intention of open in the evenings again?
Not at this time. We have some support in the evening now, but COVID's still so iffy. And motor vehicles really short-staffed as it is, I don't wanna keep changing the hours and we have found too with COVID that you don't need to come in. So whether I open 7 days a week or 2 days a week, most people don't need to come through those doors.
Okay, but no Friday services at all?
No, because I'm open 8 to 4, that's
Monday,
9
eight-
hours, that's 9 hours.
Are you here, open during lunch too?
If I'm eating my lunch and somebody pulls in, I come in.
Okay, so you're not quite open for a full 40 hours for the public?
No, but I have to go to the bank every day, don't forget. I have
Oh,
to
wow.
drive a deposit to
Okay,
the bank
but that's what
every
you have a
day.
deputy for too.
Pardon?
You have a deputy for that too.
For going to the bank?
No, for keeping the business open.
But she's only here two days a week.
2 days a week, but she
Two
could-
partial days a week.
But she could keep it open on a Friday for several hours, even a half a day might be worthwhile, just,
But if she wants to take time off, then I've gotta cover that Friday. So then I'm here 50 hours. So, yeah, it's,
I
When-
still hear from the public, and not as a criticism, but what happened to evening hours, so I have to take off from work now to,
but you don't need to take off from
yeah,
work.
but you have to, but we're not gonna provide them a computer to do
No,
online.
you don't need to take off for work. You can, if you're renewing your vehicle, you can do it online, or you can do it by mail, you can put it in the Dropbox. You don't have to take off work.
The perception from the public is that you've cut services, and that's the perception.
And,
And I share that with you, not as a
no,
criticism.
I understand.
And I just wanna make sure that, that we don't do a disservice to our citizens.
Right, well, there are many clerks, once again, through networking, who used to be open in the evenings and went, you know what, we don't need to be there at night. Your doctor's not open at night, your dentist isn't open at night. Once a year, you gotta take time off work if you have to go in. With this, you don't need to take time off work. I have worked out ways where,
But you're only open 4 days a week, and they're not even a full work week. And so you cut out Fridays already, and so
I haven't been open Fridays.
I know, but
in,
because what I see it is you're cutting you cut the evening hours, but you didn't expand any other hours, did you? Did you, or did you
No.
not?
No, it was I was open 32 hours a week when I was open at night.
Okay.
I'm open 32 hours a week now. It's the same number of hours in the week.
You know, I just think that even if you cut the hours, say open at 9 in the morning, and just give you a few hours on Friday, might give the citizens more flexibility. I'm only suggesting that, I'm not mandating that.
And but I have to ask you, what can you do on a Friday that you can't do on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or
Well,
Thursday?
I'm gonna put it to the town clerk, how many times do you have to answer to the town clerk business on Fridays from citizens?
Not a lot, but there are still regular people that come in, but it's,
But the
they've
hours are
been,
posted.
like, they've been
That's been
posted.
that
Yes,
way
but
forever.
they walk by the hours and they go right into the town town manager's office and ask her, why can't I do this? And the thing is, I'm not,
No,
I'm just trying to make it, can we smooth it out for the citizens?
it's not, Fridays are just not gonna happen.
And, you know, the perception is that hours have been cut.
But all you have to do is do the math. It's the same if you look at the hours before and you look at the hours now.
Okay.
It's 32
Okay,
hours
so
a week.
I wanna be reassured that you're here, how many times do you go to the bank? Maybe every day?
It's usually 3 days a week.
Okay, so that cuts your hours down to, in 3 days, to only 8 hours, correct?
I go after I leave here.
Okay,
I don't go during office hours. I go
Okay,
after I
so
leave.
we have, right now, 38 hours, we're open every week,
32 hours.
32 hours, excuse me. And you're here, this is fully staffed for 32 hours for the,
Well,
okay,
either her or her deputy.
right,
Sometimes Hope and I are here overlapping.
okay. And if you're not here, what do we do?
If I'm not
The
here,
thing is, if there's no one here and we have citizens waiting, they go to the town,
but they call me for questions for the
Okay,
dump. People
okay.
go to whoever's available.
I
you know?
understood, and that's the problem.
And I
okay.
understand.
I don't wanna debate this, but the thing is, I just,
They come to me
We'll
to
be-
try to pay their taxes.
we'll be vigilant to make sure we're doing a good service.
Right, and
The thing is, I have to applaud that all departments are helping each other, and I do applaud all the departments, Lean, your department, and the thing is, you answer questions for Lean sometimes, and
And we do, and I'm sorry that I can't stop people from not reading the hours.
I understood, okay. Well, I'll end it for now,
I
but the thing
can't
is,
stop that.
okay, we'll end it for now, but the thing is, we'll keep it open, if there's a
Perhaps
problem,
the
I'll bring
next
it up.
town clerk would do that.
Well, the thing is, I don't wanna wait 3 years for the next town clerk, you're here for a while, and that's why I'm engaging you.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
and I appreciate it.
Okay.
I was trying to do some Fridays, a while back, nobody showed up.
Okay.
So I
I
have better,
feel you could use it as downtime for doing the stuff that you need to do when you need,
that's what I try to do when Hope is here.
okay.
I have Hope wait the counter.
Well, let's just be
And I
vigilant,
try
I think
to.
we all have to be vigilant to make sure that we're providing an adequate service.
I think that we provide a great service.
Okay,
I really do.
okay,
More than, yeah, we do.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in, Linda,
Thank
and
you, Dave.
congratulations again on your 20-odd years of service.
Ditto
Town
on that,
clerk.
ditto on that.
Thank you.
Okay, going on to mailbox items. Try and get through some of these here. We did the cafe. Everybody, I think, all the selectmen have had a chance to read. There was an update sent to us from Fairfield in reference to our, Silverado truck. Lean has contacted them, they said we don't owe anything, they said they're no longer gonna do any work on there unless something changes, so, Woody's out of town for now. I looked at his pictures, they didn't look all that bad, I didn't like that they reused parts and pieces, but I don't think we clarified that, and I think, we'll let this sit till Woody gets back, and then we'll have some more discussions in reference to it. But right now, they're not asking us to pay the additional bill that was
Well,
required.
I checked with, I did not check with this salesman, I checked with the accounting
Yeah,
department.
which is, who gave us the amount to start with, so.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me, we're not gonna chase them for it,
Oh, absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So-
At the same time, we also have a copy of the contract as to what we were gonna get, right?
We do, but they kind of worked off the original contract, which didn't clarify that. And that the new contract, what they said they were gonna do is give us this aluminum gate. Well, they didn't speak to the brackets and all that stuff, you know, and
Right.
apparently we got a aluminum gate that was on display there, which we didn't expect we were gonna get either, so. There's some bones of contention, I think, here for them, but there was also a little bit of additional money that was supposed to be paid when this was complete. And we don't have a bill for it, and they say we don't owe anything in their accounting department, so
Okay,
kinda leave well enough alone there, I think,
So
and
one hand washes the other.
I think so.
Yeah.
We won't do business with them anymore,
That's the bottom line, is if we're not comfortable with what we got.
we paid more to get a little
Go
better
somewhere
job,
else.
and we got kinda just the opposite, so we've kinda learned a lesson here from them, I think.
yeah, avoid.
Yeah, so, if they start coming to us about the money or whatever, I'll go up and meet with them or have them come down here and we'll fight it. Okay. We all got to read this letter in reference to St. Jean's auctioneer, and Lean's gonna reach out to the different departments, see if there's anything they wanna put in the
Just,
state auction.
just so you know, Chris Remolard's already reached out to me, he said the old cruiser is getting ready, and it will be ready for that auction.
Oh, boy. Joe's gonna cry.
No, you said it was actually stripping the stuff off, he shared with that with me today.
What could be left good on that?
Did
Yeah,
you
that's
fumigate it?
You can't use the parts on anything else. Alright, maybe some radio stuff was updated at one time. We got a flood control reimbursement check for 2021 in the amount of $68,776.32. And that is down $1,223.68 from what we had budgeted, but that's darn close, so.
Can we open the floodgates just a little bit, since they dropped it a little bit?
Not if it's gonna wash our road out,
No, but that goes south to Massachusetts.
that's right.
No. Yeah, that only, affects where? When you leave the
Yeah.
gates.
Well,
East Ware's gone. Alright, the shipping container that we were having the, stuff stored in for the, voting, the door has been repaired supposedly.
that's the greatest news I've heard all week.
I haven't tried it, but I'm gonna go try it because I have to get the measurements on the,
For the shop.
boxes.
Woody did say he used it, or I think he sent it in an email.
Yeah,
that he had used it, seems to be working, he's recommending a heavy duty lock.
Yeah. Do you want me to grab a lock, or do you wanna grab one, Lee?
We'll have to, yeah, we can purchase one.
Have Joe Marie order one in maybe? So we'll lock the stuff up and we'll label, we'll keep a key here and a key down there with Woody. So we can get in case he's on vacation.
Yeah, I kinda have to look at what, probably needs to be one of those long ones.
A Weathermaster lock, sure. Yeah, them long ones I think will work better. We've got an email here from Donna Dunn regarding photos and backed up documents that she has on a drive for us.
I think she wanted to put them on the website, or linked on the website.
Yeah, she said there's over 8,000 items in here, I'm not sure, if the website, just backed up photocopies, gave Linda. Landry has placed the office in the fireproof vault. 8,000 items that are obtained from various sources throughout the years and contain only a fraction of the Hadley Tucker items in Linda's cabinet.
She wants to put them on the website, is that what she's saying in that email?
What she's saying is, here's the dilemma, all of these were given to me and the town with the intention of sharing with the public. How can that be done? She's asking the library website, town website, not sure where she should start.
I can check with Civic Plus and see how that would affect things.
Can we also reach out to maybe the library and see, because that might be a good source to have them.
Even if they're on CD there, where people can get a copy.
Right,
The burned CDs, I mean, you can get a lot of images on a CD, or DVD rather.
so can we maybe check on that and get back to her, cause this was quite a little while ago, August
Yeah,
26th.
she's out of town right now, so.
Oh, okay. Alright. You want us to sign this, Lee?
It's just acknowledging the new revenue. It's actually a board of assessors function, but I'd like to keep the board informed of what we're looking at for, new values for the town with all the building instruction that we've been issuing.
Yep. The new assessment values for 2021 is 5,100,000,
It increased,
Increase.
increased by 5,000,000.
Yep.
$5,100,000. This equates to an estimated tax decrease of 28 cents.
And how much of an increase on the school side?
well, see, the problem too is that piece of the taxes that I don't know about are the state, school, and the county. So if those go up, that you won't feel this, but it does,
It helps a little bit,
it helps a little bit, yeah.
So right now, the tax increase with this savings,
decrease.
we'll know that
No, it's an increase.
is an increase
Oh, yeah.
overall, cause the school
Right.
side went up is 170, but the town side went down.
No, we actually went up 19 cents
Yeah, but now we're lower by 28.
if we're using just the revenue towards. I get there. Good way to look at it.
We're down.
It's
You gotta look at it in a positive spin,
all
right?
the good credit.
Spin it, Dave, spin it.
Okay, we've got an update here from John Wigan with some action requested by the board, and, Lean explained this to me, it's kind of a work in progress. The, septic pump for the fire department septic tank has failed. 25 years old, continue to pop the electrical breaker. It was inspected by Sanoge and electrician. Attached, there's a quote to replace the pump and upgrade the existing septic tank. The tank is currently only 500 gallons, it's undersized for today's use, town building.
Is a new tank would be larger than the 500-gallon tank?
Yeah, I think it says on the.
1,250.
Thank you.
And let's look at this, we've got, to install a new sewer pump, it was $2,000, and replace the tank was $5,000.
And actually, the pump is right in the tank now.
Yeah. Want to wait to replace the tank, we can move the new pump into the new tank when you are ready to replace the new septic tank. So, do you wanna do it all, or do a portion of it?
I think you should do it all,
Concur.
Be done with it?
you know,
No,
and
but
be done with it,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go one step further. It can be possibly used out of these funds. It's sewers. And specifically, if you look at the uses of this, support, I'm gonna go one
It
step.
did say sewer and water, so.
It did, invest in the water and sewer.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we accept the bid from St. Ange Septic Tank Services in the amount of $7,000 to replace the existing sewer pump with a new one and wiring, and, replace the septic tank there as well.
I'll confirm that it's a 1,250 gallon tank, and I think you'd mentioned that at our joint loss, right?
Yeah, that's what I put down here.
And then I'd like to make a, amendment to that motion that we, actually not amending, I'm still in the motion, that we use the recovery funds that we just received from COVID-19 emergency in the sewer section of that for this. Anybody wanna second the motion?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion on the motion, Bob?
No,
Mike?
I don't.
Okay, motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that part's done. You'll call John or email him, Lee?
I will. I'll
Okay.
email St. Ange and CC John on that.
Okay, there is a, bicycle rodeo,
Wait a second, you had two other things here.
Yep,
Oh, from John Wayne?
And I think he's gonna get quotes, right, from
yes,
the
yeah.
pan, yeah, the second one is it's problematic with the panel he has.
I have two copies of the same thing.
Oh, okay, see, it's on this one?
1, 2, and
Front
3.
page, front page, front page. Right,
Oh,
number
I'm
two, number
sorry.
three.
I just looked at this one quote.
Yeah, so you're supposed to get an estimate from the electrician as to doing the corrective action on the panel. And the roof leaks again. This last rainstorm, he said it came in pretty good, you know?
Yep, yep,
So, that might be something we wanna have looked at again and see, get another number, cause I think you said 3 different times have come out and
yep,
patched it,
yep.
and it's leaked.
Originally, it was just with ice dam buildup,
Right.
now it's gone further and it's including, warm weather.
Let's start and break this down in a,
So he doesn't have a quote for the second one, Dave,
yeah,
and we haven't done anything about addressing the third item on here.
what I'd like to do is give him some direction on the second item.
Can I just speak for just a second? The location of the electrical panel is right beneath the leak.
Now let
Yeah.
me speak first.
Okay,
So, the direction I was gonna give you on the electrical panel
yep,
was to get a quote from one of our electricians that we use in town to move that panel from that location to the left or right, wherever John says is an
Acceptable.
appropriate, acceptable location, to get it out from the leak to start with.
okay,
Because I think that roof's gonna be a long-term deal, because,
Right, no, I was thinking the same thing
Yeah.
you were, move the electrical panel,
so, and then,
which is a lot of work,
yeah,
but it may be worth an investment on it.
I mean, normally you get a couple $1,000s to move, to
Okay.
re-switch out an electrical panel.
yep,
Cause the wires going into that panel aren't always long enough.
Correct, and that's the challenge.
So you have a junction box unless you do all new runs, so. Let's get an idea on that, an estimate of what we can do
Okay.
there first,
yep,
because
yep,
John's gonna
without
have
the
to,
wires being long enough, it might be more difficult.
yeah,
And or see if there is a waterproof electrical box we could install,
okay,
which
You know,
they,
like an
which
outside
they
one.
do have.
yeah. So one of those two things for
In
direction,
fact, if the wire's too short, it'd be cheaper than putting rewiring everything, in
Yeah,
a better
right.
box.
a weatherproof box.
okay.
In the south, a lot of boxes in the south are outside,
You know, we ran into the problem,
they got a code, it just maybe.
yeah, we ran into a problem with that roof earlier, not finding the right vendor to do it anytime we've tried, so. Fred, do you have some information about the roof?
Yeah, the air compressor and the sewage pump are on the same line, that's why they keep blowing the breakers. And there's no room in the power panel to add anything. But, so can any of that power, panel cost be come out of that COVID
You
fund?
can, that's what we're gonna do. Well, no, I don't know about the power panel, but we
Well,
do
the-
have maintenance money for that for sure.
But you gotta, put in a new septic pump and everything else. And you
Yeah,
gotta
so
wire
it
the
could
thing
be
up,
part of that.
yeah.
A partial, yeah.
Yeah, probably not the whole thing, Fred, but maybe we can separate the quote out where that portion of that new panel will.
I like the idea of the waterproof panel, that would avoid electrical, new runs.
Yeah, cause when you move the panel over those runs,
You're 6 inches short, then what do you do?
yeah. You gotta have a junction box, and if you have a junction box, you still have a
Water problem.
water issue, so. Unless you do a waterproof junction box, so.
No.
The electrician will probably know the best way, but we should start on that.
Okay,
That roof is gonna be a bigger issue, I guess maybe we should meet with John and try and figure out the appropriate vendor to use.
yeah, he
'cause-
wanted to be here, but he's got a meeting tonight.
He had a roofer come out that looked at it, that looked at what was going on with it before, and and because they were looking to get some kind of a patch or whatever there, the roofer said he doesn't work that way, doesn't wanna have to come back and redo things, so he washed his hand of doing it, that's what he
Yeah.
said the first time. So it may be getting a reputable roofer coming over to look and do what it actually takes to fix the roof. You know,
Most of them
'cause-
don't wanna work with patching, they wanna work
They
with
wanted to redo the
replacing,
whole
redo.
roof, when no other part of the roof we had issues with, and you can't add on to that roof because the structure's not strong enough to hold an additional roof on it, so. At one point, that's all gonna be stripped off and redone.
Yeah, snow load, it won't hold a snow load or anything.
And we have roofers in Dunbarton.
Yeah, that's different kinda
I know it's more residential,
commercial, yeah,
but they make nice aluminum panels now.
yeah, they do. So. Why don't we call Sentry and have them look at it and see what they think, but I think he's one of the guys that before that didn't wanna do a partial job.
Yeah, I think we had 3 different people come out, a rubber roofer and 2 different, metal roofers. But I could check with them.
What do you got, Fred?
Keep in mind, that's a Butler building, from the 1960s, and they weren't designed to hold snow.
Yeah,
They were designed to melt and slide off. That's why structure wise, you gotta watch what you're doing with those.
right,
Yeah, aluminum panels.
but if we kept it, aluminum panels, it
Yeah.
probably would slide easier
Yeah.
for a few more years, you know.
But I'm saying like a rubber roof or something that's gonna hold all this
Right.
weight
Oh,
up
yeah,
there.
you can't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I think we contacted the rubber roofing company to
Patch it,
patch the leak
yeah.
in the valley.
it's where
And
those
then-
all come together, is
Yeah.
where it's leaking there, I think, and.
Well,
I
he-
actually went up on that roof with Goslin,
Oh, that's the one, that's
and
right.
we had trouble finding it, and he tried to patch as best he could, and it did a little bit better for a while, but.
What's the name of that new membrane, Gorilla something? You see them paint over the thing
Oh,
and
yeah,
seals it up. Well, you know, they keep coming out with new stuff every year that kind
the
of
one that he
improves
does the
that
bottom
thing.
of the boat. We could
Actually,
try
yeah, it's the same stuff.
I do know a guy that did his boat this
Yeah.
summer at work too.
So they develop new things every year, cause when you're in that industry.
As
you
a
see
temporary patch, we could
things
try something
change.
like that.
You know, I don't know if that would work or not, but it'd be worth a shot
We're going
until
to try.
something happens, you know?
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Won't be pretty.
It isn't just when it snows.
Yeah, but
anymore,
it's on the
coming through
roof.
with regular
You're not gonna see that much of it.
Yeah.
It's fairly flat up there, up where you don't really see much of it.
No, but the idea of, if we replace anything, replace it with aluminum, and I'm concerned about snow load too, down from a safety standpoint.
Okay, so the first one we made a motion on,
Done.
we gave some, electrical quotes on the second one. And the third one,
You find a contract.
work in progress, we'll call that. Okay. Alright, now, the annual, bike rodeo, we have an update with a success. They passed out 40 plus or minus multiple sport helmets that were obtained free. Through a community grant for Children's Hospital at Dartmouth, Chad. They still have a limited supply of those left to pass out to the use upon request, if anybody wants one. Go and see him at the police department. And he's attached some pictures of the event.
I asked them to put that in there.
Nice.
We did put put that on our homepage of our new website, I think it was very helpful to get it out there for people to see.
Worked out well.
You get the pictures, you can, we can do some, we can use the pictures
I
if you
did
want.
save them, yeah.
Okay.
I came in and signed this milfoil grant. We're just acknowledging the town has applied for the 2022 milfoil treatment grant.
You gotta find some milfoil, and I don't wanna be on the very bottom.
So I did sign that, so it's all set.
You gotta find some milfoil.
I don't know, I'd like to have none for a few years.
You just gotta search, they gotta send more divers in.
Okay. The town. The town has signed all of the, personnel policies and procedures, and we'll be sending out new updated ones. The town clerk needs to sign this, if you wouldn't mind signing it, Linda.
I didn't know I was gonna have something to sign.
Is that available electronically online, Lee?
Not yet,
Will be.
I wanna get the sign,
Personnel thing,
yep,
Yes.
Yeah.
there's one on there now, isn't there?
right, but this is the new one that the selectmen just amended.
We updated changes to it, Linda. You need my pen?
Yes, please. Okay, so this is my copy,
Nope, that's the copy for Lean, she'd give you a
I
copy of
need
that.
an original to find,
Okay,
so if you wanna make a copy, and I will then sign, cause I need an original signature in my file,
okay,
so I can sign this and then you can photocopy it?
Yep.
Okay,
that's fine.
that we can do. See, cause I haven't recorded it, cause everything's all locked up.
Yeah, there's no hurry, that's why I didn't include it, I just wanted to acknowledge that it was put together, all,
You just happened to come back in, so I figured we'd get you while we got going to go.
Alright,
You
Okay.
wanna keep that with you so you can stamp it?
I'd like to, I need to make copies, and then I'm gonna scan it, and then give it, or the
Do you
original
want
back.
her stamp on there before you do that?
Yeah, yeah,
okay, that means I gotta go up in my office and record it.
no hurry,
Can we do it Monday?
yes.
Thank you. Give it to me Monday, thank you.
Linda, did you come back in, cause you had something else for us?
I just
Okay.
came back for the rest of the meeting,
Alright,
but thank you for
Now-
asking.
I had gone to another town select board meeting, and there was some discussion, in their meeting about going into non-public session, and there was a section, an insert in the municipal board's, thing, that gives you a checkoff list, so every time you go into one, you check it off, and it's part of the public, meeting, and that way there, you don't make a mistake about going into the wrong one for some reason or other. And it also gives you a check off of the members present and the name and the roll call and who says yes or no, and
It's nice though, it's run a tally.
so I just thought if we use that in our non-publics, it might help us so we don't miss anything, as sometimes Bob catches me, Dave, you didn't do this, or Dave, you didn't say that, and
Do you have it as a Word document?
This is in my file records, this is where I got this, right now it's in PDF,
so I brought it up to Lean and she said, oh yeah, there was a
I got a
thing,
copy
and
of
she,
it, yeah, I
she
had it.
pulled it up, and I said, well, let's bring it up at the meeting and see if you guys wanna start using it or not.
Well, we can make it shorter, because we don't have 5 board members, for example.
Yep,
They can be shorter, and we can, make it work for us. If there's anything you need to add on there to make it work for us,
Yep.
customize it.
I think
but it
it's
gives
a-
the RSA's, it gives the ABCs on there.
Yep,
And also it gives you the D, E, and I. Different considerations on different matters,
Where I was struggling, which one was it?
but, I think it's all right here in writing, and I think, it also tells you how long the 72 hours for the non-public meeting minutes,
Enter motion to seal and all that kind of stuff.
and the 2/3 vote, so I think that it's, a good template for us maybe to use if the board's in agreement to that.
I just need it to be further developed for us, customized for us.
Yep. And
Would
again,
say-
that's,
it would save me a lot of typing.
we got 2 to go into tonight, so we could each actually try one
I
out.
have 2 copies.
Perfect, and I
Ready
got a
to
couple
go.
extras there too. So, we can try one out and see how we like it, if we wanna modify it, or,
Shorten it a little bit.
yeah, shorten it a little bit, I think that, I think that might be a handy thing to do. Okay. That's it for the mailbox items. Now, I'm gonna open up one more time to the public and then come back to the board before we go to non-public. Anything from you, Fred?
Nope.
Linda?
No, thank you.
Okay, bring it to the town administrator first.
Just wanna let you know that our new auditor was in the office today with an assistant, gathering the information that he's been working on with us all week, to prepare the MS 535. That's the only item that's outstanding right now in order for us to set the tax rate. So that they have put as a priority to get that completed as soon as possible. He said he felt really confident with with the information that he gathered today, along with what we had scanned to him in the past, and that, he should be able to get a fairly good turnaround to get that back to us, so that we'll have it, so, because I'm under a deadline now. If I don't, counting backwards, with the tax bill due December 1st, I have to have the tax bill in the mail by November 1st. And in order for the tax collector to have enough time to prepare her tax bills, she needs 2 weeks. And prior to that, I have to have the DRA review the MS 535 and put together all the data that I need to set the tax rate. So there's a very tight area, and he said, and when I gave him, he said, when are you looking to have this done? I said, well, the tax bills are usually due December 1st, and he said, well, we can have it by then. I said, no, and then I counted backwards, so I told him the end of September, first week of October is ideal, because it doesn't stop when he's done. DRA needs to review it.
Don't you wanna be first in line with DRA?
Yeah, well, I have been in the past,
That's what
and
I'm
I told
saying.
him, I said, in the past, I've been the first town to set the tax rate, and he said, really? And I said, yeah, but this year we won't make it, but he's gonna work with us he's got 3 other towns that were dropped, and he's working with them as well to get their MS 535 together.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Anything else?
busy day today. Nope, that's it for me.
And, following up on that, I did speak with Lean this week and talking with, we've got Eric there now, and she's gonna have him lined up to do some of the reconciling that the other auditor told us we need to follow up on, and she's already working on that progress to get Eric all lined up, so hopefully,
That would save some dollars then.
well, it's much saving some dollars, but it's
in-house.
it's the update, yeah, it's the update they're asking us to work on, different sections of that. and
Yeah, the
Lean's working on that.
fronts and the, liability accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna take working with COAS to
Yep.
get that, to get straightened out.
So I don't have anything further for the board. Mike, you have?
Just, we had a planning board meeting last night, I stood in as ex officio planning board member and for David, in the sense that, he was in a butter for applications before the board, and it's a work in progress.
Well,
And the only thing I have is what they had at the joint loss, you had, John Wiggins's recommendations, and I guess there's a few items that haven't been taken care of yet, and I think Lean's reached out
Yeah,
to our repairman, so
yeah.
the item with the library, for, you know, the dripping that was hitting the door,
yeah,
to work on that, the deck out here, whether or not they put anything over the door. Of course, we aren't gonna do anything with paving till Jeff's got paving in this area where he can do the 2 entrances, but all those little items that were there are getting addressed anyways.
oh, good.
Dave, I have one alibi, are we gonna be doing anything with the stump, is that coming out in the?
It's gone
It's
already.
already
Is there a
gone.
new tree, is there a new tree in there?
No new tree yet, but if you
Oh.
follow up with me next week, we'll work on the trees.
Okay,
But no, what Mike is talking about is we had the large ash tree that was dead, and actually the whole inside was rotted, removed from the town, property. And, we also had the stump grind by a local stump grinder here, A1
I
starter.
did it Friday
skip.
morning.
Yeah, and then Jeff come in right after and cleaned up, so by the time I get a chance to look at it, it was all loomed over, and
so it'll be in General City, the new tree?
Yep.
Okay. What type?
we're gonna try and stick with the
Maple.
maple like we have
Excellent.
out there.
Excellent.
So, I'm actually working on 2 trees.
Went before the back here over the side? Yeah.
And Fred's gonna help me with that after. All right, I think that's the end of the public meeting. Let's make a motion to go into non-public before we end this meeting and, move on, and
I'll
we're
make,
actually continuing this meeting.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public for RSA 91 alpha, paragraph 3, Roman number 2 alpha, for a personal matter, at the request of Who's requesting it? Town administrator.
Town administrator.
Okay, and the date on it is 9/16/21.
Time.
Time,
21,
9/21.
and I'm gonna check off, members present. I'm gonna put Dave,
Oh, you're filling out your
Mike,
template.
and Bob, yeah, I'm gonna try and do this by the books here.
Well, this is basically for the recording secretary.
Motion was made by Mike,
Seconded by
I'll second the motion.
Bob second the motion,
Kaminsky, yes.
Not yes,
Markel, yes.
so roll calls on all of them were yes, yes, and yes.
And we can shut the microphone off?
And let's take a 2-minute recess for Fred to
Oh, let's give him three, come on, let's